All right, good morning. Today's the first Saturday after Battleborn, and it's back to work on the cars, I guess. So, goals for today. I'd like to get the thermostat housing seal in this car. I also need to move this car with that car because I need to pull the engine out of that car. And I'd rather have that immobile car sitting here instead of this car sitting there. So we're gonna do a little swapperoo and move those around so that it'll be better accessible, I guess. So I can potentially drive the other car while the other one's being parted out. So that's the plan. We're gonna get cracking. Okay, we have replaced it. This time I filled it before I put the power steering pump back on. But last time you could see it like literally just seeping out the edges. I tried recycling, and recycling doesn't always work. And I know that the angle and the style is different on the other one. So anywho, got the new one on there. It's holding coolant. Obviously needs to be pumped through the system and stuff, but I feel better now that it's at least a fresh thermostat, fresh stuff. It was me just trying to shortcuts. Anyway, we'll put this back together. We're going to move the cars around, and then Nick's going to take some interior. I'm going to pull an engine. That's the plan, at least. I got that engine sold. Need to get it to the seller or buyer. Can't talk. I'm the seller. He's buyer. And we'll make that happen, and that's the plan. So just put on the power steering pump. Also, while I was in Vegas, I ended up getting a set of Titan Gray B4 front crossmember pieces. So kind of cool that I got original paint on those too. So that's all fitted. I got to hook up my cam position sensor really fast since it was unhooked, and we'll move this car out of the way. Two idiots moving cars in a single wide driveway. This one sounds pretty damn good. I do say so myself. It's got shit hanging out everywhere, but that's all good. Boom, baby. So, Nick's just moving his car into the driveway because Nick's taking the interior from the White Avant, and so it's just easier if it's back to back. So he's just going to move it there, and now that the car's mobile, it's doing good. I noticed it seems like the power steering pump's a little angry, so I don't know if I just need to kind of bleed it a little bit, or if the pump's bad or something like that. But we'll try getting the air out of it and see if it's still upset. And if not, if it's still upset after that, we'll replace the pump and do it that way. So yeah, Nick's gonna move his Avant in and start putting in his stuff from the white car. Nick's pilfering the Avant for its goodies. Why would you put that face down?
I don't know.
You're a weirdo. Well, let me just put these harsh metal parts down on my hood.
I didn't want to ruin the leather.
You're more worried about the leather than the paint. While Nick is doing that, I'm supposed to do this. So, luckily I already pulled the exhaust off. The whole front end is clearly off, so it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I'm gonna start pulling accessories and pull off things like this that I might actually have to cut off. I don't know how, we'll see. And then get rid of some lines here and get those bolts and get the cherry picker out. And yeah, send it on its merry little way. All right, just making a quick progress update. I'm just disconnecting all the wiring, all the hoses. I'm going to drop off the accessories here and then pull this. Got the heater core hoses and all the connections at the firewall off. Nick is plowing away. He wants to do a full black swap. So he's going to take carpet and all of this jazz and move it into his car. And then we'll both have black S6 Avants with black leather interior. Mm-hmm. And this was a perfect example of a donor car because it was so clean. So, yeah, other than, of course, you know, the obvious dashboard problems. Lunch break time. So wiring harness is all off, all hoses are off. Started getting the accessories off, but I have a strip bolt, so that'll be fun. I'll deal with that. Nick is making good progress. He's got all that stuff out, and he's ready to pull the carpet. And that's what he's gonna do after lunch. All right, just back from lunch, literally 5 minutes after lunch, and the carpet is out. And now it's time to put it into, well, now it's time to do the same thing on Nick's car, and we'll put the new old carpet back in it. So yeah, Coop's out there. How it goes. I'm sure you get it. Do the back seats. Boom. That one's sorry, joking. That one's empty. And this one is close. I gotta say, this car's definitely had some water in it. Like you can see, like some rust down there, and just everything's kind of corroded. Broken glass. This car's had a rough life, whereas that white car lived a pampered life. So this is the black carpet from the White Avant. Got a little dirt, nothing serious. That E-Crew gets so stained and so nasty. But what do you do? It's not like everybody has a spare Avant they can just toss stuff into. But today we do. So we're gonna toss the rest of the stuff back in here, and it's gonna be a car again. And this will not be a car anymore. It's a shame. It's really nice. And like under the hood, we got everything disconnected. I need to go get my cherry picker and start lifting this. And then I just gotta disconnect all the bolts around the outside of it. I might have to jack this car up just because it's probably, somebody probably put all the bolts back into the oil pan and all that stuff. That it's such a waste of time. So we're gonna be pulling bolts for a while. I apologize about the time lapse for this video because there's a lot of nothing happening over there. But boom. Nick has black carpet, and it looks damn good, if I do say so myself.
It looks so much better.
Looks super clean, and this carpet is like,
it's in really, really good shape.
So good shape.
It needs a little bit of like spray clean, like you were saying.
Just
before.
right around like that center console, like you know,
right
coffee
here?
stains, yeah.
Yeah, but that's nothing even major for like.
No, 25.
Old, yeah, how old it is, like.
Yeah, no, this thing's super nice.
I don't think that food was allowed in that car.
No, this looks really, really good. Yeah, Nick's pleased. I'm pleased. We're all pleased.
It's gonna be great.
So, what's that? Did I forget? Oh, that's the cruise control hose. I forgot one thing. Dave's bad. It's not bad. One out of 100 connections.
One out of the...
So yeah, I'm gonna give him a call now and say, hey, your motor's ready to be picked up. Come over and get it right now. See what happens. Okay, thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
Okay, we're out here still doing Nick's interior. We're gonna do the headliner today. So we're working on getting the Avant headliner out of his car and testing how to not do it in the other car. So Nick literally just dropped it down as I was walking over here. But there's a trim ring up here. That trim ring sits in here, and that's the whole crux of this. So you got to remove all your door handles, visors, all that fun stuff. And then that's the real trick. So I'm going to show you on the other car as we start doing that one, because we're going to take our time and care on that. That's a good question. I don't know what that is. Okay, so we're getting ready to pull the headliner on the white car. It's looking pretty barren in here, except for Nick. This one's in way better shape than Nick's, and technically it's a different color. So we still got to take out all of the lights and stuff. Luckily the sunroof panel removed itself. That was always nice. And yeah, we'll take down the rest of this stuff, and then I'll show how that one's done. All right, so I got to the obvious spots. So again, door handles, sunroofs, sun visors, all that stuff is removed. The A, B, C, D pillars, all removed. That's the stuff that's pretty straightforward. Oh, I forgot the sunroof, or the Avant trunk cargo light. Now here's the thing. I gotta open up the sunroof to get to the trim piece. So hopefully, I left a battery in here. Hopefully it has the juice and it'll do that. So that's what we're gonna try real fast. Might not work because this battery cable goes to the front that's not hooked up to anything. Let's see. I want to point something out now that the engine's out. I just kind of want to show people, because like I've gotten weird comments and weird people saying like, oh, why would you part out a perfectly good car? You just needed a hood and a fender and blah, 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 blah. Not the case. So obviously the engine's removed. You can see how broken that frame rail is and how bent out of shape it is. And not only did it affect, I mean, obviously that whole side, this whole side, like if you're looking at the car, this is looking at the car straight on. So like we're lined up straight with the transmission here, and you can see how crushed in this whole thing is, but everything is shifted to the left here. So like when you look at even this frame rail that you don't think, I mean, obviously this frame rail, again, it's pushed in, you can see it buckled over there, and it's obviously pushed this way too. But even this frame rail that you're saying, oh yeah, it looks totally fine. If you look at the seams and stuff, this whole frame rail is also pushed out so far that it's separated there. And that's because like this big cross member, you know, connects these two. And while it gave up some strength, it shifted that whole side too. And that's why there's some curve and some bend on the, even on the fender here. Like, where was that? Like, yeah, like you're running into it right here just because everything is pushed over and everything's out of whack. So, I don't want to crawl under the car because there's stuff, but even the whole subframe has been shifted. It got hit hella hard. And while, yeah, oh yeah, you could just cut the frame rails here and start over and graft in new stuff. Like, yeah, you could. And, you know, if it was $1 million car, maybe I would, but it's not. It's a $10,000 car, you know, on a good day without a salvage title. So we're not going to go through that, but I just kind of wanted to point that out for the people who are like, oh, save it, save it, save it. This isn't a saver, guys. Sorry. Back to work. The key stuff wasn't working, so Nick just hit it with the impact.
Trick with these is it has to like be pushed up for some reason.
Yeah, there's a release mechanism.
And now you loosen it after, and then it goes back.
Hey, pop off that panel real fast, too, just so it's out of the way. And yeah, but yeah, now we have the sunroof open now. So here's the thing we kind of figured out on the other car. Did you already take those plastic pieces off?
Which ones?
Does this one not have them?
They don't know.
Okay, well this car doesn't have it. There, on the R95.5, there's another little piece that sits over this that just comes out with a Torx screw. But this metal ring that goes all the way around here needs to come off. And I don't know if you can see in between here, there are little metal clips that hold this together, and that's what's holding up the headliner in the front. So you have to kind of work your way around here. Do you have that flat blade screwdriver?
That's what I'm looking for.
Of course.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, like here's a good one. You can already see it right there. So yeah, if you just stick it in there and give it a twist.
Where is it?
It's right there.
Huh? Is it really?
Yeah.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah. See, you give it a twist and it just slides off. And then you can move to the next one. Right, yeah, right there. Give it a little twist, and then it's releasing this ring. So this ring is becoming, oh, actually. Yeah, so I'm just lifting up lightly on this ring.
Ah, here we go. Here's another one.
Yeah.
And here's one in the corner.
There we go. So see how this ring's becoming nice and light. Released. Boom. As soon as it's off, I'll show you the clips. Camera over your shoulder, Nate. All up in your business.
It's fine.
This just isn't
Wow.
out there on the internet. So, okay, ring is out. And then now you can look at these clips. And these clips are molded into the headliner. There's like a steel ring that goes around the headliner. And they're molded in there. And so they're holding on really, really tight. We broke a bunch on Nick's car messing around. Now there's some glue here that we're going to remove. So we're going to drop this down. This whole front part is basically free. What we're going to do is we're going to get behind here. There's a glue pad that goes across and drop that down. And then the whole thing should come out fairly easily. So that's the next phase. All right. So Nick's trying to just get this little plastic scraper in here to just kind of free some of the glue.
Glue that
we could be like swearing in a minute here, so things break and you hear Nick yell curses. We'll have to bleep. But he also might just swear in
I'll keep it family.
In exhilaration that it came off. He has his surgical gloves on because this is a surgical procedure in which everything has to be done perfectly. He's using the 2 feet in each side here with the head through the sunroof technique. It's the preferred technique for this sort of process. You'll notice how he uses the hand to support and the hand to guide. Plastic scraper in a very, very methodical manner. Soon, he will be the owner of a new headliner. We can hear the stickiness just releasing.
You can also kind of see the thing.
You can kind of see this drop down here too. Oh, there it goes.
This has got like a fiberglassy style pad on the other side. Is different than the other one.
Yep. So
they use a different material.
So now we just need to get there's another spot in the back here that we just need to release a little bit, and then it'll be out of here. This is, I hope my commentary is somewhat entertaining because this is not an exciting thing, but I know a lot of people who have sagging headliners that probably need to do this, and there really isn't a lot of information out there. So hopefully it serves its purpose. Nick just dropped it. That rear glue released quickly. And now he's just gonna slide it out the Avant side, just like that. There you go. And we'll slide from one Avant straight into the other Avant. The nice thing about the Avant is the Avantness of it. Boom. Here. Just guide this for you.
Right there.
Yep. All right. So nice thing is like all these metal clips are intact. Like when we were pulling up on the other one, we were trying to figure out how in the hell they come off. And they didn't come off well. So basically this was like the tape stuff that we were talking about where it's kind of like double-sided tape. There's some there. And then there's just some adhesive on this one. It's actually still, I don't know if you can hear that, it's still tacky. But basically there's a sound deadening mat. We're gonna spray some spray adhesive on there to help some adhesion. And we'll be done. Here's his old headliner. Stained, you can see this is all detached. Detached here. It's starting to get droopy all over the place. But these things fought us and we didn't know what we were doing. And so if you listen to what we say, you won't destroy yours pulling it out. So listen, kids, and see all this. Someone tried to hack and glue that crap back in there. People don't know how to do those. So there it is. We did put up the sunroof. I hate it when you're right, Nick. You are right. Tool. There it goes. Okay. Now it's not in great shape. That's actually the worst part of this headliner.
But at least it's the right color.
On this, there are, I don't know if you can see that. You can see those two clips. We're going to have to just basically, what we did is they pop out. They slide out. So if we slide it kind of to one side and then pull down on this side, this will slide out. It's not sliding out. There it goes. And then once that's out, here, hang on. Here, there. Now we got both sides out. That side can slide out. That, oh, you lost some of the plastic pieces. But these actually just come in and out like that. And they got little plastic sliders that should probably be lubed before we put it all back together. Looking at you, Nick. I would use some of that spray stuff and re-glue that too while we're there. But yeah, now we got the whole thing out. This car, again, this car was beautiful and it was well loved, but at least it's going in a fashion that is, you know, we're using a lot. I mean, this entire car, the entire interior is going to live on in another car. I'm going to pull out the locks. Obviously, we're going to take the door cards still. I'm going to take some of the dash parts, the cluster, look at the emblem on the steering wheel. It's minty. I'm going to take the whole lock set. Oh, this is a random thing. My name is Dave Pecoraro. That's a DP signal. Now, fun fact that no one knows, in my intro, it starts with my initials as DP, and then they flip around and make the BQ, because they're also kind of BQ. So Broken Quattros is actually a play on my own name. Bet you didn't know that. In the immortal words of the Bentley manual, the reinstallation is the reverse of this assembly. So here's Nick trying to do work. And we're just going to throw all this back together. Because we took it out one way, and now we got to put it back in one way.
No, we're putting it back in a different way.
Well, yeah, did you just put it over the top?
I put it in back there, and now I just need to get into this track. See this track right
yeah,
here?
and we could, those clips are springy, so maybe you could do a little fingering on them and springy them back into place. If you catch my drift.
Yeah, somehow.
This is the sexual innuendo portion of the vlog.
I thought we were keeping this G-rated.
It is G-rated unless you're already X-rated mine.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
We're keeping it to a simple thing, but...
We're keeping it very...
G, but, you know...
But G.
It's like those PG movies that, like, have... Like,
oh, the PG movies from the 80s?
Well, you know, even in like 90s, like even like Shrek and things like that, they all had like the innuendos
PG
that like
movies from the 80s sometimes
that made references that are funny, and like if you know, you know, but if you don't know, you're like, oh, okay, yeah.
But we just explained everything, so.
Spoiler alert. Okay, Nick's done.
No, not done.
Nick's done. Shh. Nick's done. Everything's done. We're done today. Have a good one. This is the toot my own horn segment. So anybody who's ever taken apart a C4 knows these A-pillars suck. They're in the sun. It's brittle plastic. But I just got away with 2 flawless victories on the 2 front A-pillars out of this car. And just because, like, literally all I did is came in like this, gave it a good pop, You can see that maybe it isn't flawless, but I did dent these things. But it came out, it's uncracked, in perfect shape, all clips intact. And I did it on both of these front A-pillars. This one doesn't even have marks. So yeah, it can be done. It's not easy. Take your time. Use cool plastic tools. These are all Nicks, and I'm like convinced now that I'm gonna go buy a set. Or I'm gonna steal Nicks.
Look, $11 on Amazon.
$11 on Amazon. I don't get any money from it. Go buy them. But I'm probably gonna buy some too. Because seriously, there's like 20 different things in this little clippy pack.
There you go.
There it is. The Cal Hawk 11-piece trim removal toolkit. Go buy one. Maybe they're cool. I kind of liked it. And if they're really only 11 bucks,
Yeah, it was like,
it was definitely worth it. Just today's work alone was worth it. Man, that stuff is stanky. So Nick's putting on the spray stuff. We're using the 3M80 rubber and vinyl. Can also be used for headliner. Yeah, we give it like 4 or 5 minutes, let it get tacky. We sprayed both this side.
also using.
Did you spray the roof yet?
I did.
Oh yeah, you did. I can see some strings.
We're also using the Bud Light.
Nick's using the Bud Light. Also not a paid product placement. Nick is putting on the rear stuff here. We got the top stuff here. We got some front pillars. We got some back pillars. We got some carpet looking things going in. Put in the A-pillars. Got the sunroof, or I'm sorry, those are sun visors. All in. Yeah, looking like a car again. A lot of parts to put in still. Just kind of piles of crap lying about. But we'll get it all figured out. Bucket of bolts. No big deal. This is Nick's rear trunk. As you can see, it has some issues. So we're cutting the one out of this car. Nick is doing the final cuts.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Because this one's beautiful, but they're really in there. It's the weekend non-stop party. We are getting ready to install Nick's tray. Spare tire tray. So here's the tray. Here's the cleared out. There's a little bit of rust, so you put some Pour 15 over everything. And
I do want to point out that this thing has been in a rear accident at some point, and there is a crease right here. So that actually affects the way that the new tub sits, because a new tub is OE and from a non-busted car. And so,
well, a very busted car, but busted in the front,
right.
Not busted in the back.
So right here, I've got gap with the tub, and I had to actually shave the tub to fit right here because it was kind of squished forward. So that's a bit tricky part about this, but having a nice, and I think that's part of the reason why the other one broke, was because it was already stressed.
Yeah.
And then
a little tap gate just.
Yeah, I think what happened was I was backing into a parking spot, and there was one of those concrete, things that are whatever long, and I think I just kind of bumped into it.
Nick's car's low.
Very low. It's too low, but
we got the 3M panel bond. Let's go nuts, man.
All right.
Hold on. So we'll do here and put a thin layer and then actually paint covering all of the metal so that it's all covered. That's the point on this. And then we'll do our bulk bead on the actual tub. We'll set that in, and then that will actually be weighted down by primarily the spare tire. And then we're going to add some more weight to it. And then go around it with the heat gun because that will accelerate the curing process.
Like this.
Yeah,
Kinda
you're
like-
gonna need a little bit more on there, I think.
What he said was that treat this side like you're doing a valve cover gasket,
Okay,
and then
it's a little skimpy.
yeah, a little skimpy. So basically, kind of like what I'm doing. I actually want to try and conserve as much of this as I can because I know that we have a big gap right here.
Yeah.
And we got a lot to fill. And and the body supply shop is closing in like a half an hour. So
We got what we got.
We are in it to win it right now.
Nick laid a ample amount, and now we're gonna throw it in there. We get it all squishy. And we're gonna put the spare tire actually in here to hold it down. We'll be done. Nick's trying to use up the rest of the tube here. It's right at the end. The goopy goops doesn't come off. Whoops. Boom. Ooh, squish. You feel that squish?
Yeah, I didn't get enough right there, but
Are you gonna take off the thingy first?
what thingy? Oh,
My thingy. Now we wait 24 hours. What do you do when you want extra weight? Throw in a V8. Crank and block. You can't see it though because Nick's. Boom. Just throw in some pistons and we got it all in there. I got the exhaust manifolds as well if you want to throw those on.